In today's video, I'll be sharing one big lesson that I learned from Manzion movie titled Coppers'Lodge. Like, I cannot remember this movie and forget this lesson. And most of the times I used to pray. I have a prayer point that I'm praying because of the lesson that I learned from this movie. You know, most of the times we will watch movie without deriving anything from it because we are just watching it for entertainment. But most of the times when we watch this kind of movie, especially Manzions, we need to watch it very well so that we can drive valuable lessons that will help us in our spiritual life. Hello beautiful people, welcome to Shine Bright YouTube channel. This is a channel where we share stories of faith, courage and purpose. Let's move into the video now. If you have watched Coppers'Lodge, you will understand that everything revolved around Femi. Now Femi has this girl that he wants to marry, and this girl has gone to meet the Lord in a place of prayer, and God approved their relationship. So when God approved this relationship, it was when Femi was doing things that were right in the sight of God. Femi was doing things that were right. That was when God approved this relationship, because this lady also is a child of God. So when Femi was doing all these things, according to what he said at the end of the movie, he said something like when he was with his parents, he wanted freedom. When his call up letter came up, he was so happy. He was so happy that he's going to leave his parents and go and live his life where he can do what he wants. So Femi was doing those things like eye service, although most of the times he will bring out his mind to serve God, for God to choose him for this lady. There were some times that he was serving God from his heart. But it's not that God was not seeing all these things that he was planning in his heart, but because God gave us freedom of choice, so he will allow you to do whatever you want. So when Femi went to this place to serve, he started misbehaving, started doing things that were not good in the sight of God. I'm coming to the lesson. Then when these videos were coming up, this girl was confused because she was still holding on to the confirmation that she got from God. Then people were saying a lot of things, trying to some persons mocked her, and her parents also were confused and everything. She was confused because she knew that God approved this man for her. When God chose Femi for her, it was when Femi were doing things that were okay in the sight of God. But now that Femi is no longer with the Lord, God removed his name. Now there is this revelation that Femi served her something that was not good when she went to a restaurant to eat in a dream. So this thing was like confusing. How can you know that kind of thing? But what she did not understand is that God has removed Femi for her. That is the lesson. God can say something and change his mind. Now let's back this lesson up with that of what happened in the Bible. Now if you remember, in the case of Saul, in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 8, if you read from 8 to 15, 16 thereabouts, you will find out that God chose Saul as the first king of Israel when Israelites were disturbing God that they want a king, despite the warning that God gave them, like, look at what the king will do to you people, look at what manner of king you will have and other stuff. They still say that they want king, and God chose Saul for them. Why? If you read from 8 down, you find a particular chapter. I'm going to put it up here. You find a particular chapter that said Saul was the most righteous, and now God chose him to be the king of Israel. But when Saul rebelled and started doing things in his own way, God told him, go to the Amalek. I have remembered what they did to you people in the time past. Go to the land of Amalek, utterly destroyed. Man, woman, old, young, suckling and everything, oxen, sheep and everything, destroying. What did Saul did? Saul went there and do things in his own way. And what did God say? God said, I have rejected him. That means God can say good things about you. God can say that you are going to be so and so, and you start misbehaving, start doing wrong things, and God will not say, from today this person is not going to be so and so. God will not replace you. So each time I remember this movie, I used to pray and say, God, do not allow me to make anything that will cost me the good things that you have said about me. Okay, most of us will be like, God is merciful, he's compassionate, his mercies are new every morning. If you wrong him, you can go back to him and ask him for mercy, and he's going to forgive you and put you back in your position. Fine, that is true, no doubt. But also remember the case of the prodigal son. When he told his father that when he left, he told his father to give him his own portion, and his father did, and he left and he wasted them. When he was suffering there, and he started regretting his actions, and he remembered that his father's servants are not even suffering. They are doing well more than him. He said, is it not better, let me go and apologize to my father? And he went and he apologized, and his father was so happy. And what happened? His father forgave him and welcomed him back and said, bring the fattest calf and kill it. And they were now celebrating his return. That his elder brother got angry, and he was like, Father, I have been here with you, what have you done for me? Then his father said, everything I have is yours. Everything I have is yours. So that means this one that came back now, he has wasted his own. Is everything that he has to be taking permission before he touches everything in the house. But this one has fully right. That means if you deviate from God's purpose, if you deviate from God's will, start doing things that are contrary, that means when you realize yourself and come back, you will not have all the privileges again. There are some certain things that you will not, there are some certain level that you will no longer reach. That is what it means. So we have to be very, very careful. If you look at that movie again, I'm going back to that movie. On the end of that movie, at least this episode 1, I don't know, in this season 1, I don't know if there will be season 2 and stuff. Now if you look at this, at the end, we did not see a place where Femi and this sister reconcile and say, okay, let us start planning our marriage again. No. Now in the case of Saul in the Bible, God did not say, okay, go back to your. Now look at the case of the prodigal son. That means if you are placed on this level and you misbehave, even if you come back, you will no longer reach at that height again. So we have to be careful in the things that we do. We have to be careful, because I remember one day I was discussing with someone, and he was like, if you do that thing, you will come back and ask God for mercy. You see, if you do that thing, you come back and ask, God will forgive you. But there are some certain privileges that you will no longer get from God again, because you have deviated. You know the truth, and you went to do things that were not good. So this is where I'll be wrapping up today's video. If you know that you have found this video so helpful, which I know that you did, please subscribe. Very, very important. Subscribe, like, comment, share, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified when a new video will be uploaded. Bye bye.